reacts with CO2, which is a non-metal oxide, to form CaCO3, which is a salt, otherwise known as calcium carbonate, and H2O, which is water. Now, this reaction also is resembling somehow with the neutralization reaction, because the end product is salt and water. And here, one thing that you can easily identify is the base calcium hydroxide. So if base is reacting to give salt and water, it automatically states that the oxide of non-metal which is present in the reaction will be acidic in nature. Then only it satisfies to the conditions for neutralization reaction. So we can infer that a metallic oxide is basic in nature, a non-metallic oxide is acidic in nature. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. Now, my question goes to Sophia. Sophia, how can we conclude that the non-metallic oxide is acidic in nature? Sophia?
Ma'am, I think Sophia did not join.
No, I can see her name. Okay. Tanyat, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Tanyat, can you explain how non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature?
Okay. Ma'am, CaOH2, that is a base,
Yes.
and CO2, which is acid, they combine together to give salt and water,
Yes.
and that's why it is acidic in nature.
Okay. Now, the question I asked is non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. How will you prove? So, from the beginning, you cannot state that CO2 is an acid. Rather, you can say CO2 is a non-metallic oxide which reacts to form salt and water. Since the reaction is neutralization reaction, so we can consider that CO2, which is a non-metallic oxide, is acidic in nature. Yes, Tanya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is it clear to all of you? Is there anyone who is having in this? No one? Okay. Moving forward. What is the thing that is common between acids and bases? The common thing is hydrogen, which is present in both acid and base. If you see the reactions that I have written here, in that you can easily find out that HCl is also having hydrogen and NaOH is also having hydrogen. But the difference is that in HCl, hydrogen is present all alone, but NaOH, hydrogen is present in a combined state with oxygen. Hence, the ion that is present in NaOH, together it is called as hydroxide ion, and it is generally written as OH minus. So when we dissolve any base in water, it splits into a positive ion and a negative ion. The base here is splitting into Na plus and OH minus. But when it comes to acid, in acid, this HCl is generally breaking into H plus ion and Cl minus ion. This splitting of the acid is called as dissociation of acid. And this dissociation of acid is generally producing one hydrogen ion and a fluorine ion, which is a negative ion. Now this hydrogen ion is combining with water to form the hydronium ion, which is present in the product side. Clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Repeat once again.
The HCl present here, which is mixing with water, as soon as it is mixed in water or it is the solution is made, it splits into H plus and Cl minus. And the H plus, which is made out of HCl, combines with water to form a hydronium ion, which is otherwise written as H3O plus. Yes? And Cl ion is left as it is. So since I have not balanced it, when two Cl minus ions combine, they form Cl2, which is one molecule of chlorine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So when our acid is dissolved in water, always remember that first acid is taken and then water is added. No, it is not done like that. First water is taken, then acid is added, because addition of acid with water is a highly exothermic reaction, and it releases lot of energy, because of which sometimes the acid splashes. So to avoid that, first water is taken, so that as soon as acid is dropped in it, the acid becomes diluted, and this dilution will reduce the strength of the acid. Hence, the reaction will be not so highly exothermic. Hence, the heat produced or the splashing of the water can be controlled. Yes, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, the dissociation of acids and bases, the dissociation of acids and bases takes place only in water, and that is why when I was teaching you the litmus paper test, I kept on telling you that this test happens only when an acid or a base is dissolved in water. This dissociation will take place, and the ion that will be formed, whether it is H3O plus or OH minus ion, will give the litmus paper change in color. The change of color will happen in litmus paper because of the ions. Yes, Jyotsna?
Ma'am, can you explain again? I didn't understand.
The dissociation of acids and bases takes place in water. That means it's any kind of acid or base will split into positive and negative ion when it is dissolved in water. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
When it is dissolved in water, then only it will release these ions H3O plus and OH minus. Until these ions are released, litmus paper will not give any change in color. That's why dry NaOH will not give any litmus paper test. But when we dissolve the same dry pellets of NaOH in water and we dip litmus paper in it, it will show change in color. So for change in litmus paper, the dissociation of acid and bases are required. Hence, they have to be dissolved in water.
Yes,
Jyotsna,
ma'am.
clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Moving on to our next slide. Because of this dissociation, the ions that are produced are very highly charged, and they help in passing of electricity. Now here there is an example, 3 examples I have given. The first thing that I have taken here is ethanol, which is a very common alcohol which is used in nail paint remover or in any kind of spray, which is a very mild base. The second one that I have taken here is HCl, which is a very strong acid found in labs. And the third one that I have taken here is acetic acid or vinegar. Yes. Now, looking into the inference that we get when we attach these things with a electric circuit. Because ions are formed, so it is obvious that there will be flow of electrons. But since the first case, ethanol, OH minus is in a combined state, there is no flow of electricity in it. Whereas in the second one, where there is HCl, the H plus ion, and since it is a lab acid, it is very strong. So the amount of H plus ion produced is also very high. Hence, the flow of electricity is maximum in this case, and you can see the intensity of the bulb is very high. Whereas if we take acetic acid and you look into the formula of acetic acid, which is C2H5OH, with one hydrogen getting, sorry, CH3COOH,
Ma'am,
with one hydrogen getting, hello? With one hydrogen,
Ma'am.
who is this?
I can't see the screen.
Hello?
Ma'am,
You can't see the screen?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, now I can see.
Now you can?
Yes,
Once again, I'll start. The first one is ethanol, which is common alcohol. When ethanol reacts or splits, the two compounds or the two ions, sorry, which is formed is C2H5 as one particular ion and OH minus as the second one, C2H5 plus and OH minus. This OH minus, it is in combined state, and C2H5 also is in combined state. So there is exactly no flow of electricity in it. So the bulb is not glowing. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you repeat?
When we take ethanol into consideration, C2H, the reaction that we see here is formation is between the alcohol C2H5OH. Because of dissociation, two ions are formed. One is C2H5 plus and the second one is OH minus. The ions here formed are in combined states. Hence, there is no flow of electricity and the bulb is also not glowing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. The next one is of an strong acid like HCl, which splits into H plus and Cl minus when it is dissolved in water. And since it is a strong acid found in labs, the amount of H plus produced is very high. And because of this high production of ions, electricity passes through the dissociated solution easily and the bulb glows with high intensity. It almost acts like a battery there. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And the third one is acetic acid. The formula is CH3COOH. Now, when this acetic acid, otherwise commonly known as vinegar, is a mild acid because we generally take it or consume it. Here, if you see, the ions that will dissociate will form one H plus ion, and against one H plus ion, there will be a negative ion which will be very huge in comparison to H plus ion, which is CH3COO minus. That means if I take out the hydrogen, whatever else is left after that will form the negative ion. And this ion is much bigger in comparison to H plus ion. So the amount of H plus ion liberated will be less in comparison to the huge negative ions that will be formed. So the electricity passing through it will be little less. Hence, the intensity of the bulb is low in comparison to HCl. Though the bulb is glowing, but the bulb is glowing in a very feeble manner. So this is how when acids dissociate, we can use it as a battery and we can connect it to the electric circuit, because of which the movement of ions will take place and electricity can be generated out of the dissociating acids. This is a test which helps us to understand that whether the acid has dissociated or not in water, because we cannot see the HCl molecules and whether it is dissociating into ions or not. But if we dissolve HCl in water and put a cathode and anode plate and attach it with a bulb, immediately the bulb starts glowing. The glowing bulb helps us to prove that HCl is dissociating in water, because of which electricity is produced of the as the ions are moving and the bulb is glowing. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we will end our session today. Did anyone having a doubt in the last slide that I have shown?
Mama, I have a doubt.
Who is Farhan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. This,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, why does why is the intensity of light in HCl the most?
Because with every H plus ion, one Cl minus ion is produced. So here if you see, H plus, the positive and the negative ion is in a ratio of 1:1.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
if you see acetic acid, for every H plus ion, there is a negative ion which is very huge, CH3COO minus. Yes, if I take out the last H, whatever else is there is combining and forming the negative ion. So with the huge negative ion, it is only one single positive ion which is battling. So the amount of H plus that will be produced will be less in comparison to the mass of the huge negative ion. So the intensity of light produced will also be low.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? Is there anyone who is having doubt? Done?
Yes.
My last few questions will go to Yuvika. What is the formula of alcohol or ethanol?
C2H5O.
Good. Vardha, when HCl dissociates, what will be the two ions that are formed? Vardha, when HCl dissociates, what will be the two ions that will be formed?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we'll have Cl.
Huh? HCl dissociating and forming ions. So what will be the two ions formed?
Ma'am, I think it would be Cl minus,
Yes.
and we'd have hydrogen,
H plus.
H plus.
Yes, H plus Cl minus. Vivek, what is the what are the two ions formed for acetic acid?
CH3COO minus H plus.
Very good. So because of the huge negative ion with acetic acid, the electricity produced will be less. Because of only one negative ion, the electricity produced will be more in HCl as it is only one atom. Yes, children?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Done. So we will wind up. Okay, we'll wind up our session today here, and
Good morning.
all the best to all of you for the next sessions.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
कल
Thank you, Ananya ma'am.
नहीं generally
Welcome.
आपने उसको बोला कि it's better that person doesn't join all these calls. We
Thank
sort
you,
it out ourselves.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
नहीं उसने हम दोनों को ईमेल लिखा है, उसे वो दिखाना एक बार ईमेल.